In this video, I'm going to go over our best practices configuration for a remote desktop gateway, assuming you have 2012 R2 or later server operating system hosting it. This also applies for RemoteApp and load-balanced remote desktop hosting without a gateway, basically anything that's using the connection broker. This strategy requires AuthLite version 2.3 or newer for one of the settings to work. Starting in 2012 R2, the connection broker is always in the loop, and it makes our life difficult because it eats the AuthLite one-time passcode and only forwards the username and password onto the session hosts. So we can't just set up a replay window like we used to be able to do. The session hosts will not see the OTP if we enter it in the old RDWeb logon or the newer remote desktop web client, which is what I'm going to use today. The easiest user experience we can do is avoid collecting the OTP at all during the initial gateway RDWeb logon, and then ask for it later at the session host. Letting users connect here with just the password at first isn't a big deal as long as you're restricting what resources are published through the gateway, and you make sure all those resources enforce two-factor the way you want. We'll start by making sure the RD gateway system is not blocking network logons for AuthLite one-factor users, so making a policy to make sure that's clear. Here I'm assuming that your gateway is not also being used as a session host. If it is, then apply this policy and also the following ones. Okay, now for session hosts, we'll have them block the AuthLite 1F tag for the user right assignment log on to remote desktop services. That way, even users who are on the LAN bypassing the gateway will still use two-factor. And we want the Kerberos ticket to be two-factor on those hosts, so you can seamlessly connect to other resources that might require two-factor. And we're going to avoid placing a network deny on the session host machines as well. We need this one-factor networking to work here, or else the initial network layer authentication from the connection broker to the session host will fail because it doesn't have an OTP and we would block it. So we don't want to block that. Okay, so now we need a way to actually collect the one-time passcode since we're not doing it at the RDWeb logon. We can publish a registry policy into the AuthLite settings policy area. Which is under HK local machine root. The key name is software policies, collective software AuthLite. And the setting name is credprov for credential provider, second chance. It's a string value and its value should be true. This will make the AuthLite logon tile fail gracefully when it sees a one-factor logon, and offer the user a chance to enter their one-time passcode. Make sure to install the AuthLite MSI on the session hosts if you didn't already. This setting won't do anything otherwise. So we'll make sure the policy is updated on the gateway and session host, doing a GP update, and then we're ready to try it. So I'm going to log on with an AuthLite user, but just using their username and password. Again, it's not that big of a deal to let them in here with one factor alone, as long as you're careful not to allow access to any resources beyond this point unless they have two-factor enforcement. Okay, so now we'll click through to open a resource on the session host. Notice that it loads this nice dialog that asks you to enter your one-time code. So you can do that and then click go to log in, and that's it. We've defeated the connection broker's insistence on throwing away the OTP. but still enforced two-factor on RD connections through the gateway, and hopefully it's reasonably easy for your users to use. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.